Week 12 in the books. Already past week 12. Goes by fast, we're having fun, right? Happy Thursday, guys. Despite if y'all are on a losing streak or if y'all have had a losing record, I hope we've had fun this year in fantasy football. I know everyone has, at least a week or two that, they did really good and they enjoyed. So I think we've all enjoyed it. Week 12. We had some really good matchups, some more shakeups in the standings. So let's see. Who should I start off with first? Whom? We are going to start off with, I think, it was the 10 and the 12 seed at the start of week 12. Show me your TDs and slim pickings. Now, 10 and 12, you're like, okay, probably not going to be the most exciting matchup of the week. Well, you would be wrong. It was definitely the most exciting matchup of the week. It seems like every opponent Molly faces, or the majority of her losses, have been against teams that have happened to have like their best scoring week of the year. And well, I don't think this is quite Jay's best scoring week of the year. But he ended up scoring 157 points. It's that wide receiver core. Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, and then Josh Allen usually plays pretty good. And then usually Miles Sanders will have a good game, every couple games. And when everyone's clicking like that, Jay is probably, other than I think Jesse, the most dangerous team in our league. He goes on to win 157 to 142. Miles Sanders and his punter, all they needed was 15 points. Sunday Night Football was the Eagles and the Packers. And Monday Night Football was the Steelers and the Colts. And he had the Colts punter and Miles Sanders and the Eagles. And they combined for 33, so he got it. It's always just so tough when you score a lot of points, like 142, and end up losing. So if you look at the points scored versus the points allowed for Molly, she scored a lot of points, but then the points allowed is just like, I think it's the most. So I guess whenever people play Molly, I guess they got scared, at the beginning of the year when I said she came in second, and they're like, okay, we got piled on, we got piled on Molly. I'm gonna go back to Jay. He had 3 of the top 5 scorers in week 12. He had those 3 players scored 29 or more points. And he had 8 of his 10 starters scored more than 11 points. So just pure dominance. Molly did have 3 players with plus 20 points. At 142, that is just 142. You think you're going to win and you end up losing. That is just what a heartbreaker. What a heartbreaker. Speaking of heartbreakers, this wasn't as bad as a heartbreak, but it was still heartbreaking for this guy here. We had a little smack talk with this one too, so the talk almost came back to bite her. It's Miller time versus In It to a Win It. It's Miller time was winning most of the afternoon until Josh Jacobs. Their game goes into overtime. He scores some 86-yard rushing touchdown. And I think Randy was down by 17. And after that touchdown, Randy only ended up losing by 2 points. He was the last player for both teams. The final score ended up being 138.30 to 136.36. Josh Jacobs ended up scoring 48 total points in week 12, which was the most. I think it's the second 40-pointer of the year. So he's just almost having a Jonathan Taylor-like year from last year. Almost completed that comeback. Almost. We were actually, me and Randy were texting, and I forgot exactly what he said, but he was basically like, yeah, she kept her word. She did kick my ass. And then 5 minutes later, Jacobs has that run. And he's like, oh, dude, check it now. I was like, oh my gosh, 2-point game. And I was like, damn, it looks like no one else has any players. Looks like it's going to end Randy only losing by 2. But man, Josh Jacobs made that very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. For its Miller time, 7 of her 10 starters scored 14 or more points. And that includes Miami's defense, who she picked up, who scored her 20 points. Kind of an easy matchup there facing the Texans. It's kind of what you expect out of the defense, to at least get, 10, but 20, she'll take it. She did have 79 bench points. I think she was kind of worried about her depth at different, weeks of the year, and her 79 bench points, kind of, helps her have more confidence in her bench and her depth. So, and she finally ends a 4-game losing streak. How about that, baby? I wonder if you can hear it. Pretty happy she ended that losing streak. Going back to in it to a win it. Joe Mixon was out this week, and he was lucky enough to pick up his backup, Samaj Pirine, and he ended up scoring 19 points. So nice little replacement there. Good backup to keep on the bench, in case Mixon gets hurt again. So, and like I said, we did have a shakeup in the standings. There was some potential in this matchup that the winner of this matchup could have sole possession of first place. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be Team Horned Up taking her crown back? Or is it going to be just Josh and you're trying to ride his win streak into 6 games? It would be Team Horned Up. Team Horned Up. She wins 116-96. She improves to 8-4, which is one of the best records. Is it the best record in our league? Is it the best? Is it the best? Amon Ra or Amon Raw? He is raw talent. 27 points. Kirk Cousins bounced back. I guess he put on some different chains for, kind of revamp himself from only scoring 2 points. I think that was that was 2 weeks ago. Oh. Anyway, I wrote Day at 21 points, so good for him. 21, he did something for, Fortunately for Josh, the 5-game winning streak was an incredible run. Definitely probably the best run we'll see all season unless someone gets hot and, starts a win streak in week 13 and just wins out. That'd be pretty impressive. Hollywood Brown is back for just Josh and you. So that's good. That's good despite losing. At least you added something. His punter, Riley Dixon, completed a 6-yard pass. So he got a 0.24 points. A little golf clap there for the punter completing a 6-yard pass. So I always like to see that. You don't really see that too often, but I mentioned a couple weeks ago, and we got to see one there. It's going to be really cool when a punter completes a touchdown, and then that punter ends up getting 6 points there, and however many yards that is. So I'm waiting for that to happen. Just hope it's not against me. Let's see. Speaking of me, I played the Scranton Stranglers, my good buddy Tanner Brown. And I ended up winning 143-108. I had 5 players that scored 17 or more points, including Chris Godwin, who breaks out, scores 29 points for me. I have to insert this absolutely hilarious clip. Kelsey and I are watching the Bengals and the Titans, and I'll have Pass Sam go ahead and take it away. So Kelsey and I are currently watching the Bengals and Titans game. It's a big game for Kelsey because, she has pretty much the Bengals' whole offense and Derrick Henry. And I decided to start Treylon Burks today on Tennessee, who I acquired from Kelsey a couple weeks ago. All right, it's going to Henry. Oh, big play. I'm telling Kelsey, hey, watch, your boy's going. He's going all the way to the end zone. Oh, my gosh, he fumbled it. I'm like, baby, if that's Treylon Burks, that fell on that ball, I would be weak. And look who it is. Treylon Burks. The fantasy gave me the touchdown. Can you believe that? I was like, bro, please let that be Treylon Burks in the end zone. I could not believe it was him. I was so hyped. I'm like, I kept on refreshing my fantasy app. I'm like, yo, please give me that touchdown. Please give me that touchdown. Sure enough, it did. Thank you, fantasy gods. When When I was recording, as soon as I ended the recording, it had like the little graphic saying it was Treylon Burks. And I didn't have the TV loud high enough. Like I thought I did when I was recording, but like I heard the broadcaster, "Oh, it's Treylon Burks who fell in the football," but you can't really hear that in the video. But you look up the stats, you could tell it was him. So yeah, I could not believe that. That was hilarious. Oh my gosh, had to capture the moment, you know. So unfortunately for the Scranton Stranglers, he has a 5-game losing streak. But you know who doesn't have a losing streak? Tanner Brown. The Carolina Panthers. And every team in the Panthers division lost, so they gained a game. They're still in the hunt to win the division. So I'm not getting my hopes up though, but you know. Let's see. We're gonna move on to me and my homies against Amendola Oblongata. Now, if Amendola Oblongata wins this matchup, then he also would move into a first place. He would join Kendra in a first place tie. Would he get that tie on? Unfortunately, he could not. Me and my homies were just being too homey for him. They went 112-98. They both got bit by the injury bug. Darnell Mooney, for me and my homies, is on the IR. I think he's out for the year. Travis Etienne got hurt during the game, only got 0.3 points. He's questionable this week. They said that the injury was not as bad as they thought, which is good. Jamar Chase there was a chance he could be back against the Titans Sunday, but he was not. So, but when people get hurt, other people got to step it up. Dalton Schultz, 19 points. Keenan Allen came back, had a double-digiter. Five of Jesse's 10 starters had 15 or more points. And for Ryan, Amendola Oblongata, like I said, the injury bug has bit him a little bit worse. He had Justin Fields was out for this past Sunday against the Jets. Leonard Fournette was out. Raheem Mostert was out. And then during their games, Aaron Rodgers got taken out of the game because he hurt his ribs. And Alvin Kamara got hurt at some point closer to the end of the game. So they're both questionable. And all those Fields, Fournette, and Mostert are all questionable for this week too. So he could be in a big bind. Hopefully not. Hopefully these guys come back for him. Despite that, Jesse had 5 of his 10 starters score 15 or more. Ryan had 4 of his 10 starters score 15 more. So pretty close, you know. So the injury bug kind of, you know, seemed a little bit more severe for Ryan, but it almost kind of equaled out a little bit. Jonathan Taylor, man, he's playing like the Jonathan Taylor that we know. Like I said, Jesse, other than Jay, might have the scariest team. He's got Mahomes. ETN's been great all year. This injury is not going to like set him back too much. Ramondre Stevenson having a great breakout year. Jonathan Taylor. When he gets Jamar Chase back, Jesse has a scary team, guys. Be afraid to play Jesse. Be afraid to play Jesse. And last but not least, I know I talked about some heartbreaks earlier to start off the show, but I'm going to talk about this one to end the show. Not as a bad beat as my Devontae Smith situation, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. It's between Team Hell and Hurt So Good. Speaking of the injury bugs, kind of segueing, Hurt So Good has, man, he's put the hurts in his name. I know I say that like every week because it seems like every week he's getting someone hurt. He's had Breece Hall, Cooper Kupp, Dallas Goedert. He's had a couple other injuries to his team. So he's had to really revamp his team. Would it be enough to take down Team Hill? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not. This is what needed to happen. He was only down by 4 points on Monday Night Football. Only down by 4. And he had Paris Campbell, who has been surprisingly pretty good this year for the Indianapolis Colts. All he needed was 4 points, and he could only get him 3.4. He needed 4.39 to go ahead of Trey. but he only gets 3.4. And the last, it was like fourth down and something with like not a lot of time left on the clock and no timeout. So if they can't get this fourth down, then the game's over. They throw a pass to Paris Campbell, and it's incomplete. And that would have set him. All he needed was one more catch, basically, or receptions of point. That's all he needed. And Paris Campbell could not come through for him. And to make matters even worse, he had two wide receivers, one 26 points and one with 27 points. But it's not all bad because now you got some depth. So, Zay Jones, you got him. Garrett Wilson. I like this Garrett Wilson guy. So, I don't want to say I like him, then you think, oh, yeah, I'll start him. And then he only gets like 7 points or something. But anyway, yeah, I like Garrett Wilson. So, and Zay Jones, he's always had that potential, seeing him at East Carolina. So hopefully he's kind of, living up to that hype. For Trey, it's a typical Stephon Diggs game. He had 21 points. Picked up Derek Carr. The Raiders have kind of been trending in the right direction. Derek Carr had 20 points. So, all right. Well, yeah, week 12. That about wraps it up for week 12. The trade deadline was yesterday. I didn't realize it was at lunchtime, which I think I may have sent like one trade out, but I was like, if it happened, it's no problem. So no more trading. I can extend it if y'all want to, but I think I'll probably just stop it just because we're kind of late in the season. So unless like the whole league's like, no, like do it for one more week. But, I doubt y'all will. So unless. Like I said, Team Horn gets her crown back. So I'll go ahead and go over these new standings. She is in sole possession. Well, actually, not quite sole possession. King of the Hill. I gotta give him the name back. King of the Hill. They have the same record. Trey has scored more points, but however, Kendra won the head-to-head matchup. So Kendra technically is sole possession at first, but they have the same record, so not quite. So they're both at the top, 8-4. Kendra 1, Team Hill 2, and then it follows as this the 3-7-5 teams in order. Mia Mahomes is ranked 3rd. Just Joshua is ranked 4th, and Amendola Oblongata is ranked 5th. Now, it's ranked Mahomes, Joshua, and Oblongata because Mahomes has 2 wins against Amendola Oblongata. Joshua has a win against Mahomes and a win against Amendola Oblongata. But I think the only reason that Josh is not ahead of Mia Mahomes, despite beating him, is because Mia Mahomes has 2 wins over Amendola Oblongata. He also has more points scored than Joshua. So, which all makes sense. But here's where it does not make sense. So the team's tied at 6-6. Goes as follows. In it to a win it, it's Miller time, and CDs, me. For some reason, in it to a win it is ranked ahead of It's Miller time. But It's Miller time has defeated In It to a Win It twice now, and she's beaten me. So I was looking at ESPN and I was just diving deep on, league formats and why things are the way they are, or like tiebreakers basically within the standings. And I even called a representative at ESPN because this just doesn't make any sense. Especially how the 7-5s, where Mahomes has 2 wins over one of the guys he's tied with, and he scored more points. So in this case, In It to a Win It has scored more points than It's Miller time, despite losing to her twice, which I don't really like. I don't really like that. Kelsey deserves to be ahead of him. She's beaten Randy twice and beat me once. She should be that 1 seed ahead. So I hope when the regular season's over, we don't have a problem like this. I hope it's kind of seeded fairly, because he told me the only way I could change it is to give more points to Kelsey. So I would just go and edit one of the I guess I would go and edit one of her games to give her enough points that would take her ahead of Randy, which I don't really like to do. But hopefully we'll have some weird little glitch like that. But anyway, so that takes In It to a Win as a 6th seed, as you can see wherever I'm going to put the standings. It's Miller Time, the 7th seed, and I'm the 8th seed. And let's see. Oh, and then at 5 and 7, Show Me Your TDs and Hurt So Good. Now, I think that's correct because I think Show Me Your TDs beat Hurt So Good. I did research just to make sure the other ones were okay, and I don't remember, me finding a flaw on it. So, except for the 6 and 6 teams. 4 and 8 at Scranton Stranglers, and 3 and 9 Slim Pickens. So, no one is statistically eliminated, nor have they statistically clinched a playoff spot. So if you're kind of at the bottom, you're going to really have to rack up some wins here to end the season. Really going to have to rack it up because it's getting close. Really only 3 more games. Playoffs start week 16, and we're on week 13, then 14, then 15. So, and really a lot of teams have like really close records, especially if like Team Horned Up and Team Hill lose this coming week. So that would just make things very, very interesting. I believe if they both win, I feel like one of them will clinch. I'm not too sure. For the projected playoff bracket, see, this is where like I know like it's just one difference, but when playoffs start and if there's an issue with the seeding, like into a win it in Miller Time, then it can mess up. It can mess up the kind of like the tournament. So so with Kelsey having the 7th seed, she would face like Team Hill. But then if it was done correctly, which I guess technically it is because ESPN, the algorithm or whatever that they have to seed it, but which I don't know who she would rather face, Team Hill or me and my homies, but it could be different outcomes. So. But anyway, the projected playoff bracket looks like this. I'll put it aside somewhere, and y'all can just look at while I sip some water. Done a lot of talking at the 21-minute mark. Oopsies. All right, week 13. Lucky 13. Who is going to be lucky this week? We're going to start off with our number 1 team. Team Horned Up. She's going to face Slim Pickens. That's going to be a good matchup. It's projected 119 to 115 Slim Pickens. Now, they face each other in week 2, and Team Horned Up won by 20. So they have totally different teams. I was looking at my team, and I think I only have 2 players. Eckler and Cordell Patterson are the only 2 players I drafted. The rest of them are dropped, traded, added. So totally different teams, for sure. Let's see. Ooh, good matchup here. The 2 and the 3 seed, Team Hill versus me and my homies. That's probably easily going to have to be matchup of the week there. There's another one that's later, that's last. I might make that matchup of the week. But me and my homies projected win 143 to 120, or 141 to 123. Team Hill won 145 to 73 last time they faced in week 2. Let's see. Then we have the 4 seed and the 10 seed. Just Josh Allen versus Hurt So Good. Hurt So Good won last time 154 to 117. He's projected to win 120 to 108. Let's see. The 5 and the 11 seed, Amendola Oblongata and Scranton Stranglers. Amendola Oblongata is projected to win 118. Scranton Stranglers projected to win 118 to 84. Ryan, you need to go make some roster moves. Hopefully those questionable guys end up playing, but I think you have a couple buys in the lineup too. So, and last time they faced each other, Scranton Stranglers won 134 to 105. Then we have a nice matchup between the 6 and the 9 seed. In it to a win at the 6 seed. Show Me Your TDs in the 9 seed. These are some really good matchups this week. These teams are. Because in it to a win and Show Me Your TDs, they both have, I know I've already given Johnny his praise, but Rainey has a good lineup too, so that's going to be a good little matchup. Last time in it to a win it, I think he won like a Monday night game or something. He won 126 to 118. He's projected to win 128 to 120. And last but not least, I might have to, that last one's a good matchup of the week candidate too, but this one is a household matchup. And it is between me and my fiance. We get married in 9 days, so hopefully she could give me this win as a wedding present. And she's talking smack again, but I'll be able to back it up with my play. I'll be able to back it with my play. My team, I feel pretty good about them. So we are both 6-6. So one of us will go above 500, the other will go below 500. She beat me last time by 5 points. She beat me by 5 points last time. She's projected to beat me by 2 points. This time, 125 to 123. So that'll be very interesting. She said I'm going to be a loser, but I'm always a winner because I am marrying her. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, enjoy your weekend. Can't wait to watch these games and watching games of my opponent on Sunday. So I'm very excited for that. Y'all have a great and blessed weekend. And I don't know what else to say. So